Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in this new 10 minutes video podcast of Fleet Europe. Today we are traveling to Central Europe and we do that together with Business Lease, a really experienced leasing and fleet management company since years in the region. And I have the pleasure to introduce to you Hans Kolff. He is the Director International Sales at Business Lease. Hans, good afternoon. I hope that you are doing well.
Good afternoon, Steven. We are doing well, and thank you very much for the introduction.
It's a pleasure having you here with us today. Hans, for those that might not know Business Lease, why should they know your company? And can you explain a little bit more about your core business, the target group, and your presence in the region?
Yes, Steven, I will do. Business Lease is a car leasing company operating in Central European region for over 30 years. We are located in Czech, Hungary, Romania, Poland, and Slovakia. And we operate as a regional player in the international car leasing market. We have our own international department, which is not standard considering the size of our company. Our fleet size is around 30,000 vehicles, a little bit more. And we are a privately owned company. Auto Bink is our mother organization, and this is a company that is already over 100 years old and operating in the automotive and mobility service.
You have a dedicated presence, but also knowledge in Central and Eastern Europe. What is there to say about the fleet management market and fleet maturity in general in that region?
Yeah, that's a valid question. If you compare Western Europe to Central Europe, there are of course two different speeds. When we started as Business Lease around 30 years ago, in Central Europe, most fleets were owned. And as a next step, that then became fleet management. So the cars were financed by the customer and serviced by ourselves. And then now the majority of our fleet is in full operational lease. So this is also the products we offer. We offer a fleet management, full operational lease, mobility consultancy, electric car lease, and car sharing. That's the kind of products we can offer in the Central European market. What we also see as a development in the market is electrification. More and more requests on these topics are coming up. And of course, we want to offer these services as well.
And what are your main tips to fleet managers that are just getting the responsibility over the Central European region? Because I can imagine, like you were mentioning, that speeds can vary between the countries, that you can't compare Central Europe to Western Europe. So probably there are some tips that you can share.
Yeah, I would like to give some tips. So thanks for that question. In general, I would state with be well informed about the markets. That applies for any subject, but I think for Central Europe, it's really important. The second one is also have local buy-in. We see quite often that international RFPs are, for instance, for Europe, complete Europe. But in Central Europe, it's also very important to have local buy-in. The fleets demand that, and the fleet managers as well, I would say. Be also realistic about possible achievements and targets you're setting. They should be mainly realistic. And I would recommend to the audience to say, okay, let's set a target for 1 year and then make the next step. So step by step is the right approach. And then the most important one, as you said, CE is a different region. Consider it as a separate region. That is the way I would approach it and recommend it.
Okay. We also know Business Lease as a company and organization that is permanently seeking for new developments, new solutions. For example, when it comes to mobility, when it comes to e-mobility, when it comes to connectivity. How does this match with the Central European market reality that is perhaps not so mature as in other regions in Europe?
Yeah, you're right there. If you look at Western Europe, the last 8 years, a variety of solutions have popped up. And not these solutions could not always be offered in Central Europe immediately. Examples are telematics, mobility cards, the safe driving app, e-mobility, carpooling apps, etc. But in Central Europe, it's now warming up to get that organized. So we can offer telematics, we can offer mobility cards, and also e-mobility.
Let's talk a little bit about e-mobility. It's of course a big topic, and we can expect that also in the future it will stay high on the agenda of most corporate fleets. What can fleet managers do in terms of fleet electrification, e-mobility in the region together with you?
Yeah, thanks for that question. What we recently developed is the e-mobility quick scan. This is a tool that helps a local fleet manager for each country to identify what part of the fleet can be switching to electric mobility, to hybrids, or to petrol or diesel cars. So we really can make such a scan in a very professional way and show the results and make good analysis of the fleet of each customer. And this is quite important in Central Europe. We do this per country because the countries are quite different. And it has to do also with the maturity of the electricity network. Things like that have to be incorporated to make the right analysis. So yeah, I think this is a key tool to e-mobility.
And do you indeed see that more and more customers of yours in the region are also asking questions around green fleet management, sustainability, and e-mobility?
Yes, Stephen, what we notice is local customers are asking for this, but specifically the international ones who have the demands that they want to be carbon neutral in 2030, for instance, and we can offer them a road to realize that.
What makes your company, what makes Business Lease so unique, and what can fleet customers expect in the upcoming months that they will be positively surprised about?
Yeah, well, in fact, what makes us unique is that Business Lease is a privately owned company, which is a completely different way and long-term way of looking at the market. It's also, we are a regional company. Central Europe is our specialty. And if you look, for instance, at client satisfaction, we are at 84 points. So that makes us quite proud. Our vision is to be the most customer-centric mobility company in the region. That's really what we want to be. And yeah, we can achieve that. We have shown that. And we do achieve it. Yeah. And if you then look at the final question you asked, what can people expect from us? What can customers and prospects expect from us? On a very short notice, well, our parent company, Auto Bink, has recently bought a company called Simo, the mobility card. I'm sure you know it. This will be introduced by us in Central Europe as well. So that allows our customers that they can refuel with petrol cards from Simo, of course, which also can be used for electricity charging, which also can be used for taxis or other mobility services. And this fits perfectly in what we just explained about the quick scan. That yeah, if we find a solution that e-mobility can be offered, then we can also combine this with this card and offer the full operational leasing for that.
So you and your customers, you have a great and exciting future ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hans, for this interesting discussion. And I hope, of course, to meet with you soon face to face. It's always better to meet face to face than virtually. But thanks again for the discussion. To the audience, if you like this video podcast, share it with your colleagues. And don't forget to watch the other episodes on our Knowledge Center on our website, fleeteurope.com. Thank you very much.